Now that's aside, we are in game number 3, tied up 1-1 between these fantastic players. A little more than $100 on the line at the moment, and of course, this match brought to you by combination of the viewers in Base Trade TV chat. We had Joke S toss in like $50, we had D the Hunter toss in like another 10, and of course, Nog matching the price. So without them, without the viewers, without the donations, as well as Nog, the actual official sponsor of today, wouldn't have this awesome match. So we must take a moment to give a thank you to each and every person involved with making today happen. That being said, spawning here in the lower right corner of the map, playing for himself, he needs no team. It is the Red Protoss, NonY.
On the bottom left, as the green Zerg, is going to be Root Vibe.
I gotta say it, I'm sorry. Root for Root! I love that slogan, man. It is so good. It's so fun to say. But Vibe is the one who picked this map, guys. Everything today, of course, is loser's pick. There's a set map pool. There's no vetoes or anything like that. I know some players would have loved if we had put them in, but it's a show match series. We want to have as many fun maps as we can while providing some competitive gameplay. And we were kind of joking about it, the way NonY handled that last game. But, I mean, realistically, I feel he could have done that on any map. But I got to give him like that extra fist bump for picking to do it on New Polaris Rhapsody. Now, this is another map where third bases are often taken quite early. Whether Vibe decides to play incredibly greedy and go 3 hatch before pool or something like that, we'll have to wait and see. NonY, though, he does play rather aggressive, as we saw in game number 1. He likes his recalls from the Mothership core, and quite frankly, I think if Vibe did open with a 3rd hatch early, he might get punished for it.
Well, so far he's banking up 300, so I think it will be 3 hatch before pool as the drone does go out to make it. He's going to be making it closer to the Protoss base, which is a little unfortunate, unless he's going to go check over there. Oh, no, he is.
All right, he'll take even the gas. So this is about as greedy as it gets for Vibe. Now, if he gets away with this, this is a fantastic opener for him. But NonY did open with a gateway. It wasn't a forge fast expand, so no cannons at the very least. But with no earlier nexus, this does mean pressure could follow it up. Now, I'm not saying he'd go for a 1 base all in, but with the Twilight Council coming down, Zombie Grub, we might just have 1 base all in.
Yeah, so you like to do 3 hatch before pool because gateway expands really can't like punish it until you have enough time to get something out. So, you know, but that's when the Protoss player usually gets an expansion, you know, it's whatever I was on 2 base, but on 1 base, they will be in time to punish a 3 hatch before pool.
Now he has Coordinate Stalkers. I'm wondering if this. I don't imagine. Will he really go for Dark Templar again, or do you think this will be for Blink?
No, it's a Dark Templar again.
It's got to be Dark Templar with the amount of gas, yeah. Okay, so NonY saying like that worked really well. If it's not broken, don't fix it. He's gonna find this 3rd base with a Stalker too. Actually, no, he walks right on past it. But of course, taking a stand will not be a problem. Vibe, the problem in doing this, guys, for Vibe, everything he gets out will be delayed. The small upside is he'll have much more production than he did last game, but what is he going to produce? Units that can't hit a Dark Templar and, oh, saves the drone. Slick moves there out of Vibe.
The Overlord, by the way, has scouted no Nexus. Now, if there's a gateway expand by this time, you would have a Nexus, so Vibe has to know something is going on. He's going to confirm, unfortunately, NonY, I don't believe he knew exactly where his opponent was, so unfortunately he did make all the important tech structures in the closest position to an Overlord. It's a little unfortunate for him, and it will be completely scouted, which means that Vibe, he's possibly just going to get away with this 3 hatch before pool, no problem, and simply overrun NonY with a better economy.
Mayhaps be, but he's still going to have to worry about this Dark Templar. It might be the easy solution to just send a bunch of links across the map and ignore the Dark Templar, try and outrace your opponent, I guess, in a very early base trade scenario, but the reality is, Vibe is going to lose a lot if he doesn't have detection available. Okay, now Spore Caller is coming down. All right.
Oh, he's just going to give up the 3rd. Yeah. It's going to, you know, sack the 3rd because the chances of him getting a Spore Crawler up there, because he doesn't have Lair for an Overseer, is kind of low with just the Stalkers constantly biting it down. And the
Stalkers get that big surround.
Yeah, the Stalkers at this point are going to be dead because, of course, Vibe did go for that gas early. But there's no way he's going to get a Spore Crawler up there in time, and he knew it. So get up the 3rd and prepare on 2 base is definitely the best way to go.
Or maybe one gets away, but the other one doesn't. But okay, one other thing that goes hand in hand with this is, alright, NonY's actually leading in workers at the moment. He doesn't have an expansion coming down anytime soon, but Vibe's defenses are pretty good against the current Dark Templar. 3 Spine Crawlers is a big dedication, 2 Spore Crawlers. That's a lot of minerals put into this. So at the very least, NonY's already forced Vibe to play in a way he's not going to prefer. third base going down is kind of whatever, honestly, at this point, because so many resources have been devoted in that defense. Full wall off at home. We'll keep the links out for now, but unfortunately, all these gateways are currently on cooldown, and there's no sentries, no stalkers, and these Zerglings will eventually bust through. Oh, actually going to pull back entirely.
Well, the Archons are being ready, so that's why Vibe, he was joining a little bit, thinking maybe I got this covered, and then was like, no, wait, he follows up with an Archon bus. I need a lot of spine crawlers, and that's exactly what he has. So these Zealots and Archons, they might be able to take down one and then run past it, but taking on all of them, it's not going to happen.
If they can get a surround on the Archon, like, Zerglings suck funneling into Archons, but if they get a surround on them, they actually perform quite nice, as the Archons have that very sort of awkward, slow turn around and try and zap each of them, but of course, for Vibe, his concern now is getting rid of those pylons. If he gets rid of the pylons, the immediate threat is gone, but he's putting down more spine crawlers. He's forced to play this incredibly turtly game. It's delayed his roaches, but they're finally on the way. But even with that being said, Archons have bonus versus biological guys. They hit for a lot versus everything a Zerg player has, including buildings.
He still can't get past this, though. He's trying to go for the spore crawlers, but...
Nice surround, though. Gets the surround on the Archons. This is going to be enough. Buys a lot of time. Takes out the Dark Templar. Takes out the Zealots. And actually pushes NonY back.
That is enough. That's really, you can't really get a whole lot when you invested so much into it on one base. So Vibe knew exactly what to do. I mean, you don't usually see this nowadays, but I mean, Vibe's been playing for quite a while. So even back when one base Protoss was the norm in PvZ, he was learning to defend stuff like this.
Well, Pylon is going to go down here. Zealots will, I guess, try and secure a natural base. That's the nice thing too. If Vibe did go for like a counterattack, NonY knows it's not going to be too effective. He's seen how much was devoted to defense. He saw how many spine crawlers are down. He might not know that the worker count suffered behind this. Like, Vibe's on 30 workers right now. It's not a situation you necessarily want to be in. He is droning up behind these roaches, but there's no real chance of a roach counterattack ending the game anytime soon.
No. Without the spine crawlers, Vibe doesn't have nearly enough. So he gets a few, I guess, precautionary roaches, but he should be joining up, and that's exactly what he does. Also, the lair is finishing up, so he's going to be able to have finally that floating... vision on the Overseer, and he might take his third. I think, in fact, I'd say that he should, because like building enough of an army to take care of NonY's army only off of 2 base, I don't think is possible.
Yeah. Well, while we're at a bit of a lull, we got another donation update. I want to give a big shout and thank you to Stephen Thompson for his $10 donation towards the production and casters. Thank you for the tip, man. You're a fantastic gentleman.
Woo!
Because yeah, this is like the first time literally we're making tips with casting, so that's kind of cool, I guess. But of course, I want to fill the downtime. We could talk a little bit about the game. We will continue talking a little bit about the game as Vibe takes his own third and tries to expand out of this. And NonY, it's going to be a bit of a turtle game until these guys have their economy back up. I want to again bring some attention to Nog. A small nod to them. They are the big sponsors of today's events. And as you guys saw that heartfelt video that I had not seen today that gave all the feels, they are associated with the Cerebral Palsy Foundation. And I mean, if you're working with a charity, if you're trying to establish yourself in esports, they've got plans for a big tournament next year. We'll give details about that later. But I don't know. Beforehand, you're like, oh, this is just another set of people we're working with. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to them being more involved in the future, and I hope they'll come back to us for more show matches, because this has been a fantastic day so far, and we're not even at the final match, the final boss fight, so to speak, because TLO and Show will be coming up next, guys. And a lot of you have been asking in chat all day, is Show playing Protoss? Show is gonna race switch if TLO allows it. So we might see Protoss, we might see Terran, we might see both. I don't know yet.
That will certainly be interesting to watch. I mean,
absolutely.
Show's only decided to go into Protoss very, very recently, but before we go into that, roaches are on their way. I don't think it's enough, though. There we go. Run away.
This force field's here, too. And again, the Archons are something you don't typically expect to deal with this early. I mean, they serve the same purpose as Immortals, where they hit really hard. But Vibe is taking the cool routes, and he's recognized, all right, my opponent's going to get a lot of sentries. I'll get Burrow and Tunneling Claws. Now, unfortunately, there might be an observer available, but that's still fine. The point of the Tunneling Claws is to escape the force fields, not to cheekily hide and trying to pop up later. But let's not forget, shark attacks can be a very real thing.
Did you see what you did there? Did you even see it?
No, what did I do? What terrible thing did I do?
Vibe's route.
Oh. Oops.
Okay. So actually, I think you're right. It is to mostly bypass the force fields and be more powerful in that way. But I honestly think Vibe might be hoping that because he went for Dark Templars, he also did not go for a Robo and get an Observer. He'll be scouted anytime soon.
But let's not forget, it's not the Immortals that make any sort of composition like this scary. It's the force fields that segment your army into fighting like an eighth of your army strength at a time. if you can bypass that, you can focus down Immortals pretty darn quick.
Yeah, for sure. But there might be some hope that he can like maybe, shark attack into the main or something like that. But it's of course not going to happen. Just going to be using it as we usually see it, which is to bypass the force fields, get underneath those Immortals, actually reach them. But the Archons make that so much more scary. Like usually when you bypass force fields to get to the Immortals, they're surrounded by sometimes like mostly for the most part Stalkers. Archons, like bunching up your roaches like that, it's going to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even with that super enhanced, for those who don't know, by the way, Tunneling Claws not only allows you to move underground, it also enhances the regen on these roaches quite significantly. It's funny, I think like it takes like 4 or 5 stalkers to actually kill a burrowed roach with Tunneling Claws. Like their regen is that good.
It's pretty good. It's not as well. Actually, mutageneration didn't someone compare it to like roach burrowed? Actually, that was before. Yeah, mutageneration and
God,
roach.
this is so many roaches.
It's not gonna work though. That's so many Immortals and Archons. I don't know.
It's where's that observer at though? Is it still with the army?
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, it is. Yeah, hovering above the Immortals. Sorry, wasn't sure, but splitting up for multiple hits. I mean, the tunneling class has been revealed. It's a very you can see it on the back, so like the little spikes have been made, but Vibe is just getting torn to bits. See, but this is what I'm talking about. You just escaped. That's the whole point of this.
Oh, he's actually pulling the army forward so the roaches get into the main.
But the wall up will matter.
There.
He's gonna burrow through it. Oh man, Vibe's so sick. And of course now the roaches from behind coming into the natural. Noonie is forced to split his. I'm sorry about that. Noonie's forced to split his army in half to deal with this. And as we see, the Immortal might be good against roaches, but roaches are not exactly bad against an Immortal. It's the sentries once more that make this so scary. Some great kiting, some super micro going outside the natural too, as the Archons have fallen at this point. Now inside inside the main, actually, this is quite rough. There's a lot of roaches still standing, and Vibe he's just waiting. He's looking for the opportunity to attack. He's dealing with some burrow micro here in the main, trying to escape these zealots. But yeah, as we see, the force fields do not matter. And shark attack on top of the Immortals. Every single one of these being focused down right now. The roaches there's no answer right now. Zealots being warped in en masse, but I don't believe there's detection here in the natural. No, there's not. So he just moves right on out.
Yeah, that was the main problem, is that there was no detection in both places. Noonie only had one observer, and they was chasing the things in the main. This is going to win.
Back and forth. I can't believe it. Vibe with some super Gosu micro, some crazy splitting, and some awesome tactics. Looks like he's about to overpower our Protoss player. Probes are going to be pulled into the main to try and save them. There's a couple of roaches still that have been chased. It's this whole time. Vibe has been microing these roaches. He's been burrowing them, unburrowing them, attacking to the natural. Like, his multitasking has been insane. Charge lots have been great, but this is going to cost Noonie his natural base, and quite frankly, he needs this economy quite badly.
Well, he's down by 100 supply. He's also down heavily in upgrades, 2-2 versus only 2-0, and going on 3-3 because he did manage to get a hive in there. I believe Noonie is not going to be winning this show match, unfortunately. He's back down to 1 base. Not a whole lot of army either.
I gotta tell you, the Vibe went with the unexpected tactics. This is something, by the way, guys, Moonglade has been doing non-stop, like, for the longest time. And it works quite effectively against specifically Sentries and Immortals. It might look unbeatable, but realistically, as long as you've got an overwhelming army that doesn't rely on Sentry force fields, it's actually not a problem to deal with. And Noonie recognized that a little too late, investing into so many Zealots. Charge Lot's not too bad against this, but even if Vibe is going, if not by ground, by air, he's got Vengeful Stacks and Pneumatized Carapace coming up behind this.
I really think what went wrong for Noonie was not necessarily his composition or anything like that. It was just that it was split up. It was already kind of a small army, but it was a really powerful army. But if you split it up, then it's, it's obviously half the power. So Vibe definitely took advantage of that. And plus the only one observer means that, either way, one of his groups of forces is going to be able to go undetected when burrowed. So it was really just very smart from Vibe. And unfortunately, I think Noonie would have been able to hold had everything just been at the front. But unfortunately, that was not the case, and as I say that, it also would have been very, very hard for him to get a third in this game at all, too.
Okay, so I know I'm normally really bad at interrupting, and I purposely tried my hardest not to interrupt, because the entire time you were talking, supply blocked, but alright, good game's gonna be called. I think Noonie just realized too far behind, and Vibe will take the series, ladies and gentlemen. $80 in his pocket, but Noonie doesn't walk away unrewarded. $30 goes to him as a thank you for playing. So these two awesome guys putting on a good show for us. We're going to run some commercials here. We actually this timed out perfectly because TLO's show is scheduled to start in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go contact the players. We're going to run some ads. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. and we'll see you guys in a few moments.